My mother knew that something was up with her baby. I was lucky enough to be diagnosed at age 2. A growth hormone shot every night. Butterflies are not deficient in growth hormone, but flooding their bodies with it can make them tall enough to fit in with the way the world is built. An endocrinologist every 6 months. Several times I also saw a cardiologist for an enlarged aortic valve. In the end, it became proportional. That's how my childhood was with TS. I never felt that I had an acute understanding of it. When I was young, I would sit in a plastic doctor's office chair and kick my legs, hearing the adults talk about Turner syndrome. I guess I have that, whatever it is. Anyway, got my first explanation when I was 8. Even then, I didn't fully understand or address it. In our family, it never had been made a big deal. My parents did not want me to be defined by it. As I got older, though, and my neurodivergence became more apparent, possibilities of being linked with Turner's came up. Back then, I did not have a label for the way my mind worked, but it was comforting to have a label for the cause. Part of me didn't want to analyze any deeper. I got the talk when I was 10. After I learned about sex, I assumed I would never do it. As far as I knew, it was only for the feminine duty of making a baby. And I could not make a baby. I did not know sexual pleasure, or the way it is commodified and weaponized. It took me a while to reckon with my infertility. I went on to cling to the possibility of IVF, no matter how many times I was told it was unlikely. I had a dream about being pregnant in which I knew I was dreaming. Seeing a pregnant woman worsened my mood. I started taking estrogen medication when I was 11. Cannot describe how excited I was. I wanted full breasts. It was like that for lots of girls. All aspects of femininity have historically been policed. It is overwhelming, but validating when you get it right. You succeed within the system. Carried disappointment and resentment towards my own body when I grew small boobs. Considered using padding, but I did not want to feel like a liar. I was drawn to moralize my own tits. A few months after I started the estrogen, I was incredibly hormonal, and my mind was overwhelmed. My OCD and anxiety were magnified, my emotions were poorly regulated, and I was still processing recent life changes. Got my period one afternoon, managed to hide it successfully for the rest of the day, occasionally sneaking to the bathroom to see the expanding spot of blood in my underwear. I still couldn't fully believe it. It could be something else. But what? I thought I was never going to menstruate. I showed my mother late at night. She confirmed that I was. For the next 2 years, I continued to have inconsistent bleeding. They would happen anywhere from a couple weeks to several months apart. By the time I was 13, I was coming into touch with many parts of myself. I had done internet research on TS and even met another butterfly. I was discovering my queerness. I was questioning how much of my femininity was just internalized obligation. I started taking progesterone, which gave me a consistent monthly cycle. I was still on growth hormone at that point, but I could only be on it for so long. The timing was intentional. Decisions had to be made about my height and the conventional womanliness of my body. Accepting those decisions was a different journey, more internal, more simple, and more complicated at the same time. I'm still on that journey. Still feel body dysmorphia, though I suppose we all do in a way. That's a look at mine. Thank you for reading. You are human and worthy and beautiful.